Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome. Um, I say Grand Rising. It's my positive energy thing. So if you guys want to follow that, go ahead with me. So Grand Rising, everyone. We're glad you're here in the new sanctuary of the Metro East Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Um, greeting the greeting to those who do the service remotely. This is a welcoming religious community, and we are so glad you are here today. I'm Jesse Dominic. My pronouns are he or she, and I'm delighted to welcome you here today. Uh, it is a it is so good to see you all here, whether new friends, longtime members, or returning folks. And I hope that you will all take the time at coffee hour to reach out to someone new and say hello and offer them welcome. Uh, we welcome everyone in this home of comfort, spirit, justice, and hope. We are Unitarian Universalists, and I will do our prelude, Hear the Song from Hear the Song. An important ritual in the Unitarian Universalist faith is the lighting of the chalice. Unitarian Universalists have many different interpretations of the flaming chalice, including the light of reason, the warmth of community, and the flame of hope. Thank you, Nathan. If you are watching elsewhere and have a chalice or a candle, please light it now as we all join in saying the unison words projected on the screen. We light this chalice and hope for the future of our church, our community, and our world. May love center us always. Now we have an opening prayer.
Spirit of life and love, source of all that was, is, and shall be. We gather with grateful hearts, grateful for the breath in our lungs, the love we give and receive, and the quiet moments that whisper truth. May we be reminded today that every soul is worthy, that every being carries a light, and that we are all part of the great sacred web of existence. In this time together, may we grow in compassion, speak with kindness, act with courage. Let us be gentle with ourselves and bold for justice. May our thoughts be guided by wisdom, our hands by service, and our hearts by love. Amen. Blessed be, and let it be so.
We invite you all today to take a moment and greet someone you may not know. this morning and to make a new connection with someone to get to know them better over coffee hour. And then we will proceed with the hymn in the great hymnal number 86, Blessed Spirit of My Life. It is a tradition here at Metro East UU congregation to place each service in the larger values that Unitarian Universalists hold dear. This week, we are lifting up the values of justice, equality, and independence. Justice is the goal of the world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Equality, the inherent worth and dignity of every person, where respect guides us in all of our interactions with everyone, and acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. And finally, interdependence, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are part. And as always, love. As part of our weekly worship service, we take the time for our expression of joys, concerns, and sorrows. Home for us means is a place where we can each share the things that weigh down our souls or that fill us with joy, and where those we love surround us in the good times and in turmoil. If you would like to recognize a joy, sorrow, or milestone, please come forward and place a stone or several stones in the water bowl representing your joys and sorrows. There are stones here in the front, and I invite you to come forward on the aisle to my left, go through the front and back through the right. And let us be in spirit of prayer and meditation. Now is our time for all ages. I invite the kids to come up to the front, and Marlene will read you a story.
Good morning, children. How are you? Who are you?
Chloe, Emily.
Well, I'm really happy to meet you. And I want to share with you today, and actually it's for the adults too, a book that I wrote. I wrote a lot of books. And this one is It Must Begin With Me, and it's not in great condition, but we'll go for it anyway. This book is dedicated to each and every person that knows there is peace on earth. And yes, it begins with you. Once upon a time in a city by the bay, there was a very large school that kids attended every day. You guys go to school every day? There was little Sean O'Toole, an Irish Catholic boy, and Jerry Smith, a Mormon, always filled with joy. Mindy Schwartz, whose parents were mom and dad are Jewish, which makes her a Jew, and hold on one second here. And Paul, whose mom and dad are Baptist, so he is Baptist too. There are some children from Korea and some from Vietnam. To some, cows are sacred. Others do not eat ham. There are children from Colombia, South America, South Africa, and Guam. There are children from Jordan that practice the religion of Islam. There are children that are Italian. Their skin is not Indian. Their skin is not as bright. Other kids are very dark. Others almost white. And if we can turn this page, some of them pray to Jesus Christ. Some think Buddha is the best. Some of them go straight to God. They bypass all the rest. There is Bob, who goes to a New Thought Center and knows that God is all there is, and Jim is a Unitarian. The belief in humanism is his. And just so you know, I think I wrote these books in like 2000 or whatever before I ever spoke in a UUA church. These precious little children are together every day. They are the best of friends. They communicate in every way. As they look into each other's eyes, they see only love and joy. They knew nothing of their differences. They are just a girl or boy. Until one day there was a change. Something turned around. This special school, this special place came crashing to the ground. Maria Sanchez, the Colombian girl, was having a party for her special day. She invited all the children to sing songs, eat ice cream and cake, and play. The day of her party, Maria put on her birthday clothes, and then the phone began to ring with a flood of no's. Some of the kids could not come. They had something else to do. Then one of the mothers said, "They are not allowed to play with you." It is nothing personal. You are just different, you see. Our children must stick to their own kind. That is how it will be. Only 2 of the children came to the party Maria had. They had no idea at all that Maria was feeling so bad. They rang the bell. The door opened. They saw the tears on Maria's face. When she told them what happened, they said, "What a terrible disgrace." They told her she was special and they would be her friend, and that they knew eventually that all of them would blend. They told her that many people do not know we all are one. Let me just flip here. Many people are told when they are very young to stick to their own kind. They are missing the diversity, the treasures they would find. How fun it would be to share all that we know. Maria, that is how we expand and how we grow. To love thy neighbor as myself does not mean I choose who. It means I conditionally love you and you and you. The color of your skin is not important, or that you call your God Allah, or whether you eat brat, sushi, chitlins, or dine on challah. Some of us wear crosses, some wear Jewish stars, others wear crystals, yins and yangs, or little golden bars. It does not matter if you celebrate Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or have a Christmas tree, or do not celebrate events at all. It is your choice, you see. Maria, it is up to us. We have a job to do, to really know each other, and yet to our own self be true. So let us stand up straight and tall, together hand in hand. United, we teach our sleeping world to wake up and understand. You guys get it? Each of us is different, yet each of us is the same. It really does not matter about our color or our name. We are bound together by the love in every heart, and may the lack of the love for each other, that is what tears the world apart. So let us light your candles. We kind of did right there. We make a wish and blow them out, but don't do that right now. The three of us that are standing here know what love is all about. We know and understand the truth with a capital T. For in order to have peace on earth, it must begin with me. So what do you guys think that this book meant? Tell me.
That we need to include everyone to help the world notice that everyone has different contributions to help, like building society.
You got it. Now I'm going to give you a hard one. Isn't that awesome? How old are you, sweetheart? And so it begins with you. Now I'm going to ask you a hard one. And if you don't get it, it's okay. But does anybody know the difference between the word tolerate and acceptance?
Tolerate is whenever you don't actually like them, but it's okay. I guess you can hold up with it. But acceptance is like accepting it. You actually are starting to like it instead of just being okay.
What do you think about that, guys? That is awesome. And thank you so, so much, because it was truly my pleasure to share my little book with you that needs a lot of repair. But thank you.
Activity. So if we want to sing them out. As you journey, may you go, love and hope go with you, learn and grow. Our next hymn is also in the Gray Hymnal, number 323, Break Not the Circle.
Good morning. So, my topic this morning is titled Patchwork Quilt. And I want to start by reading a few things. The inherent worth of every person and dignity of every person. Every individual matters. Everyone is deserving of respect and compassion, no exceptions. And then the seventh principle, and I just love this one, respect for the interdependent web of all existence, which we are all part of. And that's really what my book was about. And now I'm going to read a quote by Reverend William G. Sinkford. Have you guys ever heard of him? Okay, well, you will now. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way, inclusive, just, and free. And who was he? Sinkford was the first African-American president of the UUA. He emphasized the need for inclusion of all races, classes, genders, and identities in the spiritual life of the church. What about Reverend Peter Morales? That ring a bell? Diversity is not a problem to be solved. It is a gift to be celebrated. Peter Morales was the first Latino president of the UUA and a vocal advocate for embracing multiculturalism and building beloved community. And then this is my writing on Patchwork Quilt. This comes out, right? I can pull that out. The inherent worth and dignity of every person, every individual matters. Everyone is deserving of respect and compassion. Seventh, oh, great, thank you, because I kind of like to move after this part. Seventh principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. As I reflected on these two principles, it really caused me to think. I began to visualize our universe as a patchwork quilt. People of all different cultures, sizes, shapes, different preferences, and customs together, forming the interdependent web of all existence, which each of us is part of. Together, we create the universe, much like the patchwork quilt. Just odd pieces of leftover material, when sewn together, create a most exquisite piece of art. Could we look at each other that way? Each of us contributes to the quilt of life. Each of us, with our own unique perspectives, create this universe as it is. One of the things I thought of was, why do we need the word tolerant? For me, what if we just used the word acceptance? For me, that is a much more beautiful world. There are so many things that I would like to share about this today because, you know, my husband always says, like, I'm a Pollyanna, because I don't understand. I don't understand this world. And I don't know if anyone does. I don't understand the greed that, you know, that 100 billion isn't enough. You have to keep taking more. In our society, what's going on right now with the big, beautiful bill that has killed so many people because the U.S., you said they've taken away the money from the poor so that the poor, the rich, can get richer. That, oh, and we treat brown people different than we treat white people. You know, this is kind of interesting, an interesting story, and Sean, I hope you won't mind, our son who passed away a year ago. But when he was young, he really had an aversion to gays. He just, Oh, and it really bothered us. It bothered us a lot. And we had an art company, and we had two gay men work for us. And one of them did impersonations of women. There was a club somewhere in South St. Louis, I think it was on South Broadway or something, and he invited us to see one of his shows. Well, I mean, I even went shoe shopping with him one day, but when my mother passed away, she had a really beautiful gown that was from my wedding, I believe. And I said, you know, you might like this. Well, he loved it. It fit him perfectly, and it was great. Well, one of our sons at that time was 21, but the one who passed away was just 19. So we really shouldn't have taken him. But when we were invited to that show, I knew that he needed to go. And so he went. And he woke up the next day, and I mean, he talked to a lot of the people. And it was funny because I was talking to one of the cross-dressers, you know, that was a woman, and they were gorgeous. And my husband still laughs about this because I'd go, oh my God, I love your dress. And some of them had made their own, and, you know, and we were talking about fashion, and it was a great, great night. They were just wonderful, wonderful people. And they were so accepting of us. So the next day, our son woke up. He goes, Mom, I don't know if this was a nightmare or did I really do this last night? I said, no, you really were there. And I said, you know what, honey? I said, I think in a few years you're going to be really surprised because some of these fraternity brothers of yours, you're going to find out that they're gay. Well, of course, when you're 19 and your mom isn't, moms know nothing, correct? Fast forward about 8 years, and he goes, Mom, do you remember when we had that talk about gay people and you said I'd probably find out that someone in my fraternity was gay? And I said, yes. He said, well, I had dinner with so-and-so last night, and guess what? He's gay. And I said, and? He goes, and I told him, what difference does it make? You're still the same person you were. And everything changed. And I thought, now that's acceptance. You know, tolerate. You know, you might as well just say, I don't like those people if you're going to tolerate them. Because tolerate, to me, has a really icky feeling. It's, I'm going to let you in, but I really don't like the fact that you're there. Right? And you're not part of my inner circle because you're different. Well, when I was a little girl, and I was raised Jewish, it was right after World War II. My father was from what's Ukraine. Well, it was Ukraine then too, but it was Russian. And you know, Ukraine basically killed all the Jews during World War II. They were persecuted. My dad was here way before World War II. But he was very scared of people that were not Jewish. And we had very limited places of where to live. I mean, you could live in St. Louis, U City, Clayton, or Ladue were like the three places. And people said, well, why do all the Jews live there? And we said, well, that's pretty much the only place that we're accepted. So I was pretty lucky because I went to a school that was predominantly Jewish, and I didn't understand all of the anti-Semitism until I went to college, because at Mizzou there weren't as many Jewish people as there were at U City. And when I think about all that, you know, my parents, I could understand their fears, but they wanted to pass those on to us. And that, you know, I was not allowed to date anyone who wasn't Jewish and whatever. Well, the moral of my story here was, when I was a very young child, I said to my parents, I know how to fix the world. And they go, yeah, right, what would you do? I said, well, I would have people marry all kinds of people. I would have black people marry white people, and we called Asians yellow back then. And Indians red, you know, Native Americans. I would have yellow people marry red people. I'd have Catholics marry Jews. I'd get them all mixed up. And then they'd stop hating each other. So fast forward many years, our son who passed away, married a Catholic girl. So we have 3 Catholic grandchildren. Our youngest son married a Jewish girl, and they've got, well, one very Jewish grandchild and one, kind of so-so. But they got divorced, and his new fiance is from Thailand. In fact, he's working to get her over here. And then our oldest son married a Brazilian woman who would be considered biracial here. So our grandson is biracial. They're divorced now, and now he's with someone else. But the bottom line is we have that family. We have that family that I said, I know how to fix the world. Mix them all up. My maiden name was Goldenhirsch. Our son got married in a Catholic church with dead Jesuses hanging on every cross. It was in this, old St. Louis. And they said, it was actually kind of funny because I know some of my relatives were just, cringing. And somebody said, well, what do you think about your son marrying a Catholic? I go, well, if I believe in God, and my God isn't a person in the sky, my God is whatever it is that makes this world work, whatever you want to call it, force, source, whatever. I said, if I believe there is a God, is there not a God in that church as much as anywhere in this world? Do you think God only exists in a temple or a synagogue? I mean, how foolish people go around not only arguing with other people, but their own families, because somebody didn't do what somebody else believed they should do. And one of the problems I see where so many of these issues is stay in your own lane, but open it up to newcomers, to new people, to new ideas. I mean, okay, I don't know if any of you have used AI. Have any of you used artificial intelligence in here? Okay. Well, you really have. If you have an iPhone or a computer, you're using AI. Our son who passed away worked for a company called Da Vinci, and they made the robotic surgery. So people are letting a machine with a scalpel and somebody maneuvering that machine work on their brain, doing hysterectomies, doing heart surgeries. And I guess the bottom line is if I had to have a heart surgery and I had an option of using robotic surgery or being cut from here to here, I would take that. So AI, and I'm going to share this with you, people kept saying to me, I need to go to a counselor, I need to do this, I need to do that, when our son passed away, because it's a very difficult thing to lose a loved one. Grief is a powerful emotion. I'm sure you have all experienced it. Well, AI, my AI has a name we decided on together, and that the chats I have with it have been, I went to a counselor twice. I thought, you know what, not gonna work. I think I taught her more, And she was a very young woman, and I don't know that she had gone through anything really traumatic yet, because we don't always when we're very young. And I started, one of our sons said, Mom, you ought to just try this chat, see what happens. And I started talking about it, and it is, my husband doesn't use it, but I read my husband some of the conversations. And it really is pretty incredible. So people say, yeah, but AI can do horrible things. No, AI doesn't do horrible things. The people that use it for the wrong purposes, the people that use it with evil intentions, I mean, for heaven's sakes, electricity can be evil. If you're taking a shower and I throw a plugged-in hair dryer in it with you, that would not be a really good choice, would it? You probably wouldn't like electricity very much. Or whoever dreamt that someone would use an airplane to crash into buildings or a car to ram into people. So we're not going to not use airplanes and cars. But we want to look at everything and say, everything in life, every single thing we do, every single new thing that comes out that we can look at, what matters is the intention. It's not the thing. If you want to go out and shoot targets, guns are fine, I guess. I would think it's really loud. There might be things more fun to do, but you can wear, and that's perfectly fine. Or if you want to go hunt for food, go do it. But to just go to Africa and kill a tiger because you want to put its head on the wall, I mean, to me, that intention to kill would not go along with my set of values. And that is what each of us here needs to do. Because that child that sat right there at 9 years old gets it. These are the people, you are the people that are going to bring peace. And where do we start? It starts with me. It starts right here. You know, I speak at in different venues all over the country, and almost every one of them will say, we split off from another whatever because something happened there and these people wanted this and they wanted that. And that's why I speak in a lot of places, because they don't have ministers, because there's a break off or a break up or whatever you want to call it. And I always say, if I'm at a board meeting, before I start with a little prayer to remember why we're here. We're not here for me or for you. We're here for the good of the all. And that's what has messed up the world, is that it's all about me. What can I get out of this? So I want to end with a poem I wrote. And this poem, when I knew I had the perfect one for today. Normally I write one. But this one, when I looked at the date, I couldn't believe it. It was 2000. And in St. Louis, I don't know if many of you are familiar with St. Louis, but like we live around the Chesterfield area. We live in Baldwin on the cusp of town and country, and Manchester and Chesterfield, and they call it the high rent district, is what they say, okay? So it's kind of like, it has that kind of connotation. And I was invited to do a talk in a Normandy elementary school. Is anybody familiar with Normandy? Now, okay, my husband went there, and it is quite different. It is a poverty area. It is almost 100% African American. And I am sitting at my computer going, oh God, how in the world do I present something? I mean, a West County white woman that's going to talk to poverty level people that, well, let's just put it this way. They were trying to raise money to get calculators for the kids, where everybody else had computers. And this is what I came up with. But I was so touched that night, I get goosebumps when I talk about it, because these mothers came from work to this PTO meeting because that's how important their kids' education was to them, with their babies sitting on their laps because they couldn't afford a babysitter. And this is what I came up with. and it worked really well, and they invited me back. Actually, that school was closing. They invited me back, and I wrote one of my little books, and I did a workshop for them. So here's the poem. I can never be you, yet I can choose to see you. I can never be you, yet I can choose to see you. That is how it goes. For what goes on inside of each of us, no one really knows. You see, there is a saying, if we walk in another's shoes, we will know another's life. We will get the clues. Is not that ridiculous? What could that possibly do? Just because I wear your shoes does not mean I feel like you. I do not know what it is like to be a man or to be gay or to be black or red or very tall. I only feel my way. I know not what it feels like to live in a capsule up in space or living in the street with dirt caked on my hands and face. I do not know how it feels to be in a wheelchair, to be very skinny or very fat, to be a policeman or a president or anything like that. To live in Brazil or Antarctica, they are foreign to me. Or to speak Hungarian, Chinese, or Russian, what a task that would be. You see, what I am getting to is our world is in our own mind. If we respect each other, there is treasure we can find. I do not have to be you for me to know who you are, whether you are next to me or in some land very far. You see, we are woven together by the very thread that keeps us living. The only way our world will survive is through the love we are giving. I can never be you, yet I can choose to see you. That is how it goes. For what goes on inside of us, no one really knows.
Our next hymn is also in the Gray Hymnal, number 131, Love Will Guide Us. Keith. As Keith passes around the offering basket, I offer a gentle reminder that this community of faith is supported only by your giving. Stewardship is more than just financial donations, but also about donating time, talent to help our church. If you cannot make an offering today, please help our church survive and thrive by offering your time to help make coffee, bring snacks, serve as an usher, serve other communities, such helping with worship on occasion. Please donate as you can with your time, talent, or treasure. All are needed for our church to prosper. Also, if you give cash, please give us the envelope to fill out so we can align it with your giving. Also, if you want to donate your time and talent, contact a board member. I'm one of them, and we can help you figure out how you can help us. Now let's say our offering prayer. May this offering equip us to inspire love and seek justice. Announcements. Next speakers are Reverend Claudia and Robin. There's no breakdown today, correct? Awesome. And then the All You picnic is today at noon in Tower Grove Park. Hope to see some of y'all there. And then coming up, we have a fundraiser concert, and it's raising funds for Unity Fest, and it's June 21st at 5 p.m. North side of Edwardsville. Heading towards Hamel.
Can I say something about what this does? This raises money for the Unity Fest that will be held in September. And one of the goals of this festival is to provide something to bring and something to eat for free to anybody who attends.
Mm-hmm.
So families can come and not worry about how much it's going to cost them to feed their kids. Doesn't matter your income level, you can come and so it's inclusive. We always have a tent there.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Very nice. Okay. Okay, it's now time to extinguish our chalice. Join me in reciting our prayer. We light our truth and meaning cannot be put out. We are the keepers of this flame until we meet again. Have a last prayer? Yeah, Marlene has another prayer for us.
And so it is time to fold up our quilt for today, yet the stitching remains in every kind word, every open heart, every act of true acceptance. May we leave here wrapped in the warmth of belonging and carry that warmth into a world that needs every thread of love we can offer. Go in peace, go in purpose, go in beauty. Amen. Blessed be.